Your brain is an incredible organ, shaped by everything you've encountered and absorbed throughout your life. Think of it like a mirror that reflects your external world inwardly, influencing your thoughts and feelings based on what you've experienced. This means that your brain isn't just a passive observer. It actively processes and interprets the world around you, forming neural connections that shape your perceptions and reactions. Now here's where it gets exciting. What if I told you that you possess the power to transform this reality? It starts with intention, a clear vision of what you want to experience. When you ask yourself questions like, what would it be like to be healthy, wealthy, free, or deeply in love? Something remarkable happens. Your frontal lobe is a remarkable part of your brain, often called the crowning achievement of human evolution. Imagine it as the conductor of a magnificent symphony within your mind. Just as a conductor directs various musicians to play harmoniously together, your frontal lobe orchestrates different parts of your brain to work in harmony and create something new. When you set a clear intention or vision for your life, this frontal lobe springs into action. It's like a master weaver, skillfully gathering fragments of your past experiences and memories. These fragments are not just random bits of information. They're pieces of a puzzle that your brain collects over time. Your experiences, lessons learned, and emotions felt all contribute to this vast collection. Now picture this. Your frontal lobe takes these fragments and weaves them together with intention. It's not just stitching memories, it's crafting a vision, an ideal scenario that exists in the quantum field. The quantum field is a concept in physics that suggests all possibilities exist as potential realities. It's a realm where your intentions can manifest into tangible outcomes. As your frontal lobe works its magic, it doesn't just replay your past. Instead, it remixes and reimagines these fragments into something new and exciting. It's like creating a painting where each brushstroke represents a different aspect of your life, your health, relationships, career, and more. This process isn't limited by what you think is possible based on past experiences. Instead, it taps into a realm of limitless potential. Your brain, under the guidance of your frontal lobe, becomes a creative powerhouse. It connects dots that seemed unrelated, finds patterns in chaos, and envisions possibilities that were previously hidden. The beauty of this orchestration lies in its ability to shape your internal reality first. Before anything manifests in your external world, it takes form within your mind. Your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions act as blueprints for what you want to experience in life. And here's the fascinating part. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined in this creative process. When you vividly imagine and emotionally embrace your vision, your brain and body respond as if it's actually happening. This isn't mere wishful thinking, it's a biological response. When you think about being healthy, wealthy, loved, or successful, your frontal lobe activates specific neural networks. These networks are like pathways in your brain that light up in response to your thoughts and emotions. They link together past experiences related to health, wealth, love, or success, forming a coherent narrative of what you desire. The more you engage with this process, asking yourself empowering questions, visualizing your ideal outcomes, and feeling the emotions associated with them, the stronger these neural connections become. It's like reinforcing a muscle through exercise. The more you practice, the stronger and more resilient it becomes. As these neural connections strengthen, they begin to influence your perceptions and behaviors in everyday life. You may start noticing opportunities that align with your vision, or feel inspired to take actions that move you closer to your goals. It's not just wishful thinking anymore. It's a deliberate creation unfolding before your eyes. But it's not just about thinking, it's about feeling. Emotions are the language of your body, and they create your state of being. When you emotionally embrace this future reality, feeling the freedom, joy, love, or gratitude as if it's already here, something magical occurs. When you fully embrace the vision of your future self, healthy, joyful, successful, or deeply loved, something profound happens within your body and mind. It's not just about imagining a better life, it's about embodying it on a deep, biological level. Your body, including your unconscious mind, starts to respond as if your desired future is already happening. This isn't merely wishful thinking or daydreaming. It triggers a powerful biological shift within you. Your cells, tissues, and organs begin to resonate with the energy of your new state of being. Imagine it like a switch being flipped inside you. The thoughts and emotions you cultivate about your future reality send signals throughout your entire body. These signals influence your nervous system, hormones, and even your genetic expression. It's as if your body is receiving a new set of instructions for how to operate and thrive. As this biological shift takes place, you start to inhabit a new state of being. It's not just a change in mindset, it's a transformation at the core of your being. You begin to embody the qualities, characteristics, and behaviors of your future self. For example, if you envision yourself as healthy and vibrant, your body starts to align with this vision. You may find yourself naturally drawn to healthier foods, feeling more motivated to exercise, or experiencing a greater sense of vitality. These changes aren't forced. They flow effortlessly from within as your body adjusts to its new reality. Similarly, if your vision includes abundance and success, your actions and decisions reflect this mindset. You may notice yourself taking bold steps towards your goals, feeling more confident in your abilities, and attracting opportunities that support your vision. This process isn't about pretending or forcing yourself to be someone you're not. It's about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the highest version of yourself, the person you truly aspire to be. As you consistently embody this new state of being, you naturally create a new personality. Your new personality isn't a complete departure from who you are. Rather, it's an evolution, a refinement of your true essence. It's about shedding old patterns and limitations that no longer serve you and embracing qualities that empower and uplift you. As your new personality takes shape, it naturally influences the reality around you. This isn't magic, it's the principle of resonance and attraction at work. The energy you radiate through your thoughts, feelings, and actions interacts with the energy of the universe. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. When you're in harmony with your desires, you attract experiences and opportunities that match your vibration. Our research has shown time and again that when you regulate your internal state, when you generate elevated emotions like joy and gratitude, not only does your brain become coherent, but so does your heart. And when both are coherent, you're in a state of alignment with the universe. So why don't we live like this every day? Well, for most of us, 70% of our waking time is spent under the influence of stress hormones. When you're stressed, you're in survival mode, focusing on external threats rather than internal possibilities. It's a state of being separate from your true potential. But here's the key. You have the power within yourself to change your life in profound ways. It all begins with recognizing that you can let go of the old patterns of stress and survival that have held you back. These patterns may have been ingrained over time, shaping how you respond to the world around you. But they do not define who you are or what you can become. To step into a new way of being, you must first make a conscious decision. This decision is more than just a fleeting thought. It's a firm intention that you set with clarity and determination. It's about saying to yourself, I am ready to change. I am ready to let go of what no longer serves me. When you make this decision, something incredible happens. It creates a surge of energy within you. This energy is like a wave of transformation that starts from deep within your mind and ripples outwards through your entire body. Your brain, which has been wired by years of experience and habit, begins to rewire itself. It forms new neural connections that align with your new vision of yourself and your life. Imagine your brain as a dynamic, adaptable organ that responds to the thoughts and intentions you feed it. When you consistently feed it thoughts of growth, healing, and possibility, it responds by reshaping its structure. This process is known as neuroplasticity, and it's the foundation of how we can change our habits, behaviors, and ultimately, our lives. Not only does your brain change, but your body also follows suit. Your body is a reflection of your mind, and as your mind shifts, your body responds accordingly. You may notice changes in your posture, your energy levels, and even your health. This is because your thoughts and emotions are intricately connected to your physical state. As you continue to reinforce this new way of thinking and being, you'll find that old habits and conditioning start to loosen their grip. What once seemed impossible or out of reach now feels within your grasp. You begin to see opportunities where there were once obstacles. You start to notice synchronicities and serendipitous events that align with your newfound perspective. Now let's talk about victimhood. Many people believe their emotions and thoughts are controlled by external circumstances, a person, a situation, or a condition. But this is an unconscious program. You are the creator of your reality, constantly shaping it through your thoughts and feelings. If you react to the same people and situations in the same way, you reinforce the same reality. To change this, you must rise above your environment. How you think and feel determines your state of being, and this state creates your personal reality. Imagine living each day celebrating the power within you, not waiting for external events to change, but knowing that your inner world shapes your outer experience. This isn't an overnight transformation. It's a journey of learning, practice, and experience. As you embark on your journey of transformation and align your thoughts and emotions with your desired outcomes, something remarkable begins to unfold. You start noticing synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem to align perfectly with your intentions. These synchronicities are not mere chance occurrences. They are signs that you are in harmony with the flow of life. Imagine setting a clear intention for what you want to create in your life, whether it's a career change, improved relationships, better health, or personal growth. As you hold this vision in your mind and heart, you begin to see opportunities presenting themselves in unexpected ways. For example, you might meet someone who has valuable insights or connections related to your goals. Or perhaps you come across a book, article, or event that provides exactly the information or inspiration you need at that moment. These synchronicities serve as affirmations that you are on the right path, moving towards your desired outcomes. As these experiences unfold, you start to realize a profound truth. You are not just a passive bystander in your life. You are the creator of your reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions shape the world around you in meaningful ways. In the past, you may have relied on external conditions or other people to define your happiness or success. You may have felt powerless or at the mercy of circumstances beyond your control. But now, as you witness synchronicities aligning with your new state of being, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop seeking validation or approval from others to feel worthy or fulfilled. Instead, you recognize that true empowerment comes from within, from honoring your own truth and following your inner guidance. You no longer give your power away to external conditions or wait for external validation to feel confident or secure. Instead, you harness your innate creativity and resilience to navigate life's challenges and seize opportunities for growth. You trust in your ability to manifest your desires and create the life you envision. This shift in perspective is not just empowering, it's liberating. As you continue to embrace your role as the creator of your life, you cultivate a sense of ownership and responsibility for your choices and actions. You understand that every decision you make contributes to shaping your reality, whether it's how you respond to challenges, nurture relationships, or pursue your goals. So, here's the takeaway. Start celebrating the fact that you have this power. Celebrate every moment you choose to think differently, to feel differently, and to act differently. Each of these moments builds your electromagnetic field, giving you the energy to heal and create a new future. So, you are here for a reason. Your higher self is calling you to awaken to your true potential, to embrace the limitless possibilities that await you. So start celebrating this journey of transformation. Start celebrating the creator that you are. Once you move into a new state of being and you're creating wealth, in other words, only gold creates gold. Lead doesn't create gold. And our job is to take those base emotions of anger and resentment and fear and anxiety, those base emotions, and transmute them into gold. Because right on the other side of our pain is freedom. Right on the other side of our lack is wealth of abundance. Right on the other side of our fear is courage. It's the same energy, it's just trapped in the body. And when we transmute that energy into something else, right? Now we have available energy to begin to design a destiny with. So then a person who moves into that elegant state of being where they're expanded and they're enriched and they're in love with life, then they can't go back to the old self, because that is their new state of being. So then if you practice that every day, sooner or later, it's going to begin to become familiar to you. So then if you're creating wealth and you're in the state of being of abundance, you better not be thinking lacking thoughts, because an abundant person would never do that. You can't demonstrate that you're not making choices, because you believe that there's not enough lack of time, lack of energy, lack of money. A wealthy person would never, an abundant person would never think that. You can't feel unworthy and lacking if you're going to be a wealthy person. So by very logic and reason, you've got to lay that down and move into this state of being. Now, once you're in that state of being, you can't sit on the couch and wait for the phone call. Once you're in that state of being, you've got to start making choices into the unknown from that state of being. You've got to trust in the unknown. The moment you don't make the choice, you just doubted your creation. You return back to the known. And so people then, when you're in that state of being, the miraculous happens when you say, okay, I'm going to go for it, but you're not going to go for it as your limited emotional self. You're going to go for it as your unlimited self. And you begin to make those choices, and you step out into the unknown. That's when the miraculous happens. And you say, oh my God, I'm so glad I made that choice. But then waking up in the morning then and priming your brain and body to make that change is the key. There's 2 times the door to the subconscious mind opens up. When we wake up in the morning and we go to bed at night. Why? In that crossover place. Because your brain goes from deep delta brainwaves to theta brainwaves to alpha brainwaves to beta brainwaves. Why? And when you go to bed at night, it goes from beta to alpha to theta to delta. And if you can't get there, you're stuck in high beta. It's because you're driving the sports car in first gear. So people do whatever they can to get down there. So the brain chemistry works in accordance with this. So when you wake up in the morning and the receptors in the back of your eye pick up light, the moment that happens, your optic nerve sends a signal to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland starts making serotonin. And serotonin is the daytime neurotransmitter. In other words, serotonin gets you up and going. It gets your brain turned on. The moment it starts getting dark at night and your eye is no longer picking up visible light, the mechanism starts to change. And now, because there's less light, the optic nerve sends a signal to the pineal gland. The pineal gland takes serotonin and starts carving off a couple methyl groups and turns it into melatonin. And melatonin is the nighttime neurotransmitter. So Sarah gets you up in the morning and Mel puts you to bed at night. Now, when serotonin increases, your brainwave patterns go into beta. That's because you're going to pay attention more to the outer world. When you're in meditation and you close your eyes and you eliminate light and it's dark in the room and you play music in the background, you put earplugs in, you're getting less sensory data coming in from your environment. So then your cortex is not so preoccupied with trying to create meaning between the outer world and the inner world. You're forgetting about the outer world, and the inner world is where you're cultivating something. So then when you close your eyes and do your meditation, then your brain waves move into melatonin. And if you're waking up in the morning and you're waking up at 5 in the morning, guess what? Your brain waves will probably be in theta or alpha. You're in your subconscious. You're past the beta thinking. If you go to bed at night, I have friends that are artists and playwrights and musicians. They stay up till 2 in the morning. They love that 11 o'clock till 2 in the morning. They're in nighttime, they're in alpha. They've got all these creative ideas. Me, I'm a morning person. I wake up, I'm up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning. It's my time to create. I set aside a certain amount of time. That's my time, because the rest of the day, I'm serving. So I like to get myself right in the morning. So doing that then begins to alter brainwave patterns. Now, if you move from beta to alpha, there'll come an amazing moment where if you do this right, you'll slip into theta. Now, theta is when your body is asleep, but your mind is awake. So think about this. If your body's asleep and you've conditioned it to be the mind through addictions or habits, the moment the body's asleep, it's no longer the mind. So there's no longer any resistance, and that's where instantaneous change takes place. If you go too far, you slip into delta, and that's called deep sleep, restorative sleep. People say to me, well, I really can't meditate, and I say, really, where do you meditate? Oh, in bed. Yeah, well, there you go. Get out of bed. You're fast-tracked to delta, because you're going to go right to delta. So then what we noticed in our research, to finish that other thought, is that there comes a moment when you're in that coherent level of alpha, and all of a sudden you slip into theta. And all of a sudden, when theta turns on, all of a sudden you start seeing this amazing change take place. And the body becomes so relaxed, and the energy centers, the sympathetic nervous system, switches on. Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences. They come from our memories. In fact, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of all the things you've learned and experienced to date. It's an artifact. And when you have an experience, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your 5 senses plug you into the external environment. And as your brain is processing all of this vital sensory data, all of that information rushes back to the brain. And when it reaches the brain, it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks, to string into patterns, to reflect their interaction with their external environment. The moment those neurons organize into patterns, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And so experiences tend to create more long-term memories because it patterns or stamps or embosses networks of neurons into very specific patterns. And then the emotional quotient helps us to remember the event. So we learn something new intellectually. We also cause networks of neurons to form. I mean, the Nobel Prize laureate Kandel in the year 2000 found that when people learn just one bit of information, they double the number of connections in their brain from 1,300 connections to 2,600 connections. So if they didn't review that information or repeat it, the connections pruned apart. So we know then that learning semantic information begins to organize circuitry in the brain, and experiences enrich the brain. The end product of experience, of course, is the emotion, and it causes us to feel certain ways. You can remember where you were on 9/11. You can tell me who you were with, what time of day it was, what you were doing, because whatever you were seeing in that moment or hearing in that moment changed how you were feeling, and the moment you felt altered or you felt differently, significantly, your brain perked up and you paid attention to whatever caused that. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then most of our thoughts and feelings tend to be within the neural circuitry of the past and the emotions of the past chemically. So if you take a thought thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So if you combine a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, and you have a series of good thoughts that are connected to a series of good feelings, that cycle of thinking and feeling creates what's called an attitude. When you begin to wrestle with your limitations and overcome them, there's so much talk in the United States about self-love. People think self-love is getting a manicure or buying a sports car. That's not self-love. That's pleasure. Self-love is when you're sitting with yourself and you are working on overcoming your hardwired thoughts or beliefs or your emotional propensities that are connected to your past, and you are really working to overcome them. Right on the other side of your pain is freedom. Right on the other side of your fear is courage. Right on the other side of your sadness is joy. It's the same energy. It's just trapped in the body. When you stretch yourself past that point and you break free from the chains of those emotional addictions, the side effect of that is called joy. The body is liberated from that level of mind. When that happens, there's available energy to create with. So when you break through that, you begin to love yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And you begin to love and respect others because you see yourself in them. And now that you're free from it, you can understand them with compassion without knee-jerking in the same way. So the difficulty here is really making the time to do it. And if you began to think about a new way of being and you moved into a state where you said, I'm not going to get up until I am this person. Not only did you memorize it neurologically in your brain, but you allowed the thoughts that you were thinking to become the experience to the point that your body, as the unconscious mind, began to live in that future reality in the present moment. And when you got up, when mind and body were working together in that state of being, and you said, I'm going to maintain the state of being my entire day, and I don't care. Bring on the challenges, because I want to test my greatness. And you did that the entire day. The end of your day, when you finished your day, more than likely you'd have more energy than when you started. The literal translation of the word meditation in Tibetan means to become familiar with. The symbol means to become familiar with. So if you're becoming conscious of or familiar with your unconscious self to the point you're so conscious of your unconscious thoughts, so familiar with your unconscious habits, and so aware of your emotions that you would never let them go by unnoticed by you. There's no chance for you to return back to the old self, to know thyself. And then if you became familiar with a new self, because you neurologically fired and wired it in your brain, and you emotionally conditioned your body, and you were able to do it enough times, sooner or later, it would get easier and it would become more familiar to you, and you would be able to move into that state of being. By the way, a new state of being is a new personality, and a new personality is a new personal reality. One of the things about substances is that it actually helps to change chemistry in the brain and body. So there becomes a chemical dependence on it at that point. But the person who wants to change has to want to change. That's the first element. In other words, no one can make you change, but you have to find it in you to really see if this is what you want to do. I've studied people over the last 12 years. Why is it that one person, an old-timer, can look at his x-rays and see a spot on his lungs, and the doctor will say to him, hey, George, you know that's a spot on your lungs. It's nothing now, but if you keep smoking, it will be. And that guy just takes his cigarettes, throws them in the trash, and he's done the next day. How do you explain that? He made the decision, and the decision was an experience, and it began to rewrite his chemistry and his biology. How can a person who moves into a state of religious ecstasy, a state of absolute faith, drink strychnine and not get poisoned by it? It's a decision. There are two important times when your body and brain are more open to suggestions: when you wake up and when you go to bed. In the morning, your brain waves move from slow to fast, and at night, they go from fast to slow. Most people quickly fall asleep, going from the fast beta waves straight to the slow delta waves. You can learn to slow down before bed, visualize, affirm, and change your thoughts to work with your body. Research shows these changes can last. When people wake up, their brain, which holds all their past memories, starts thinking about problems. These problems are linked to certain people, places, and events, triggering related emotions. Thinking about these problems makes them feel those emotions again, so they feel like they are living in the past. This creates a cycle where their emotions influence their thoughts, making them think and feel the same way repeatedly. For example, if you feel like a failure, you'll think you're a failure, and this cycle continues until your body believes it. The body doesn't know the difference between real experiences and emotions created by thoughts. So your body thinks it's experiencing the same thing all the time. Breaking this cycle is key. After waking up, if you think about your problems and feel the same emotions, you stay stuck in the past. This leads to a predictable future where you do the same things every day. You check your phone, social media, and email, and follow the same routines. Your body is on autopilot, dragging you into a future based on your past. To change this, you need to be in the present moment, not in the known past or predictable future. People often prefer the unhappiness they know over the uncertainty of change. Stepping into the unknown means making new choices and understanding that this uncertainty is part of change. It's the end of your old self. People fear the unknown because it triggers stress, making them imagine the worst. Instead, learn to stay present. Ask yourself what thoughts you want to focus on and what behaviors you want to show today. Mentally rehearse who you want to be. This practice starts to change your brain, making it look like you've already achieved your goals. Your brain is no longer stuck in the past. Creating your future is about combining a clear intention with a positive emotion. Thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. This combination sends out a new energy, attracting your desired experiences. If you do this correctly, you don't have to go out and get things. Instead, opportunities come to you. You become a magnet, drawing the right job, house, or relationship to you.